The fall I started my senior year, I transferred schools. Next thing I knew, everyone was saying I'd died of leukemia. After I left, Sam, that slacker who always sat in the back and didn't care about anything, suddenly clammed up. He ditched his old lazy ways, hit the books like crazy, and got into a top music school. 9 years later, he was a huge success, a household name, a superstar. During a live Q&A, when asked about his love life, he looked downcast. She's gone. If I'd known, I wouldn't have wished her to be forever 18. Wearing a mask and holding a camera, I scanned past his phone's lock screen and froze. Huh? Me? Sam had been in the biz for 7 years, won a ton of awards, and was the perfect idol in the eyes of millions. After all these years, I saw him again. But this time, he was a reality show guest, and I was just a camera operator. This was Sam's first reality show, and his fans were super excited. When he walked out, the place went wild, and a swarm of paparazzi rushed forward. My coworker nudged me, "Sam's here." I see him. In the guest hallway, he kept his head down, pulled his baseball cap lower, and walked by quickly. Just the sight of his back made the onlookers scream. I quickly turned on my camera and got a shot of his entrance. Damn, he's hot. Gotta sell this to the fans. Hey, I heard Sam graduated from Northwood High. You went there too, right? Do you guys know each other? My coworker suddenly asked. I paused. Suddenly, I remembered an evening just like this, many years ago. Back then, my name was Stella. In the pool hall, I was clutching my workbook, tears streaming down my face. Sam, stop fighting. Finish your homework first, then fight, okay? Sam's hand was bleeding, and he was beyond annoyed. Stella, you're so annoying. Don't you understand English? Get lost. I snapped back to reality. I smiled and shook my head. He's a huge star. How would I know him? After celebrities make it big, they usually cut ties with their non-famous friends to avoid drama. Sam didn't have the best reputation in high school. He definitely wouldn't want to see anyone from back then. Besides, he hated me. I'd be better off just snagging some of his discarded stuff to sell. No need to bother him. The show was starting in an hour. I was sitting in a corner checking my equipment when a voice came from above me. Stella? I looked up, startled. It was Sarah. One of the guests for this episode, and also my college classmate. Last year, she lost her job and begged me to help her find one. At the time, our station happened to need a production assistant, so I pulled some strings and got her in. Unexpectedly, during a shoot, she accidentally walked into the frame and became an overnight sensation because of her sweet looks and voice. After that, we never spoke again. I gave a cool smile. Small world. She blinked, feigning surprise. Stella, it really is you. You're still lugging a camera around? I thought you'd be a boss by now. She said it with a look of pity. Life's funny, isn't it? If you were the one who got caught on camera back then, maybe you'd be the famous one. But, well. Her tone shifted, a slight smirk playing on her lips. It's all fate. Back when you begged me to find you a job, you deliberately tried to mess with me, making me do grunt work, the hardest, most tiring stuff. So, karma stepped in and made me a star overnight. Stella, this is what you get. I said nothing. Back then, she got fired for breaking equipment at her old company and cried to me every day, saying she couldn't afford to eat. She begged me to find her a job, saying she'd do anything for money. I felt sorry for her and pulled a lot of strings to get her into the station. Turns out, she thought I was trying to sabotage her. What could I say? Someone was walking over from not too far away. Sarah. I turned to look. It was Mark, my ex-boyfriend, who was in the same class as Sarah and me. After Sarah got famous, Mark dumped me and became her assistant manager. Seeing me, he stopped in his tracks. Stella? Sarah took the coffee from his hand. Mark, you got it for me so quickly? Yeah, I searched a few streets, finally found it. Thanks, sweetie. Sarah smiled, then turned to look at me mockingly. You used to always say Mark didn't know how to take care of people, that he was cold to you. What's up with that? He's super attentive to me. Oh. Are you finally done? I looked at her and said slowly, anything else to add, Sarah? Because I recorded everything you just said. Sarah froze. What did you say? She cultivated a ditzy beauty persona, and her fans were all guys who dreamed of her. If this video got out, she'd be finished. Stella, delete it. She snapped out of it and lunged for my camera. I held on tight. Sarah, this is a friend's camera. I don't know how to delete anything. Don't play dumb with me. Delete it now, or you'll regret it. She pulled desperately. Mark, seeing things were getting out of hand, rushed over to break it up. The commotion drew everyone from the crew. The manager ran over, demanding to know what was happening. Tears welled up in my eyes. Sarah insists I filmed her and wants me to delete the video, but I really didn't film her. Sarah's eyes widened. What are you playing at? Give me the camera. Or I'll sue you for invasion of privacy. The manager quickly tried to calm her down while taking my camera and turning it on. Sarah, she really didn't film you. See for yourself. This must be a misunderstanding. Sarah couldn't believe it, scrolling through it again and again. How could she find anything? I hadn't even turned it on. Sarah still wanted to say something. Mark, sensing trouble, quickly pulled her back. Misunderstanding, it's a misunderstanding. Sarah was just worried about her look leaking. Sorry for the trouble, everyone. With that, he quickly pulled Sarah away. I looked apologetically at the manager. I'm sorry, I don't know why she's so sensitive. I just touched the camera, and she insisted I was filming her. I know. The manager waved his hand. These small-time celebrities are the most problematic. Little fame, big attitude. Someone will deal with her eventually. Everyone, back to your positions. We start in half an hour. I nodded and took out my mask to put it on. I don't like my face appearing on camera, so I always wear a mask when I'm working. Just as I put it on, someone suddenly shouted from behind me. Stella. I turned around and saw a staff member, and Sam. The videographer assigned to Sam had an emergency. You'll fill in. I looked at Sam, surprised. He was wearing a simple hoodie, his expression distant. The wind blew his bangs, and for a moment, the 18-year-old boy from my memories seemed to reappear. What's the deal with our homeroom teacher? This one-on-one tutoring thing? Your grades are worse than mine, who's helping who here? You're so annoying. Why do you care if I study or not? I'm going to sleep. Don't wake me up when class starts. Stella. The staff member gave me a strange look. I snapped back to reality and nodded. Okay. I grabbed my camera and hurried over. Sam paused, then extended his hand, polite and courteous. Stella, hello. I reached out and shook his hand. Hello. Our skin touched. That long, beautiful hand instantly became clammy. Sam froze, his hand trembling slightly, and suddenly looked into my eyes. Surprised and bewildered. My heart skipped a beat. Why was he looking at me like that? Sam. He was holding my hand too tight, I had to say something. He came back to his senses, let go of my hand, and smiled apologetically. Sorry, I've been a bit tired lately, spaced out. So that was it. Big star, rushing around the world for appearances, of course he'd be tired. After speaking, he looked at the staff. Let's go. After the solo interviews were done, the show began. This time, the show was broadcast live. 8 guests drew lots to determine their roles and search for a secret treasure in the school. The production team would establish an adult school for autistic individuals in the name of the final winner. When Sam appeared, the live comments went crazy. Sam looks so young and innocent, ha ha ha. Sam never used to do variety shows, only something charitable like this could get him. Sam is so kind. He's donated to leukemia patients every year since his debut and even wrote songs for them. That's a true idol. Is it because his first love died of leukemia? He's probably doing this show for her too. So devoted. Ah, I want to hug him. To the person above, really? Who was Sam's first love? I think it was a high school classmate. He mentioned it on Twitter when he first debuted, but his posts are only visible for 6 months now, so you can't see it anymore. In the studio, I stared at the small screen next to me, lost in thought. His first love was a high school classmate. And she died of leukemia? I searched my memory for a long time but couldn't place anyone. But I transferred in my senior year, so I don't know what happened after that. Maybe he met a girl he liked after I left. I looked at Sam, an empty feeling somewhere inside me. In high school, he was cold and aloof, looking down on everyone. I used to think no one could ever get close to him. Turns out, someone did. It's just that, I shook my head and smiled. I was a little curious about that girl. She must have been someone special to make Sam change his ways and remember her for so many years. After the guest introductions, the host warmed up the crowd, and then they started drawing lots. Sarah got lucky and drew the straight-A student card, which came with high privileges, allowing her to access most areas of the school freely. As for Sam, he drew the slacker card, the one with the lowest privileges. To enter any area, he had to complete a task first. Sam looked at the card in his hand and gave a wry smile. Back in high school, he was always second to last or last, a notorious slacker. The card was pretty accurate. Fortunately, the competition was being held at Northwood High, so he was on home turf. During the Q&A session, the host asked everyone about their most special memory from their school days. Sarah tucked her hair behind her ear and said with a bitter smile, "My memories of middle school aren't great. Maybe it was because of my looks, the girls weren't very friendly to me, so I never had many friends. Later, in college, I finally made a good friend. I trusted her a lot, but when I was at my lowest, she kicked me when I was down. Let's not talk about it, it's all in the past. I've already forgiven her." The comments section instantly filled with sympathy for Sarah. This makes me so mad. How could someone as cute as Sarah be bullied? Are those people crazy? I get it, I totally get it. I'm also one of those who looks decent, and I could clearly feel the girls in my class didn't like me much. Seriously, it's not my fault I'm good looking. Sarah is so kind. She actually forgave those people. If it were me, I'd never let anyone who backstabbed me get away with it. Watching from offstage, I had to admit, I was somewhat impressed by her. Twisting black into white and crucially, all her words were vague, no names mentioned, impossible to verify. Wasn't that a talent in itself? Enough about me. What about Sam? Sam's school days must have been much more interesting, right? Having achieved her goal, she knew when to quit and conveniently struck up a conversation with Sam. Everyone instinctively looked at Sam. His gaze swept past where I was standing. He smiled faintly. It was a long time ago, I don't remember clearly. For a moment, I was actually a bit confused. I couldn't tell if he was looking at the camera or at me. Half an hour later, the show went to a commercial break. Everyone got in cars to head to Northwood High. Before getting in the car, Mark found me. "Stella." He seemed a bit awkward. I couldn't be bothered to look at him. "What is it?" "I'm busy." The air was quiet for 2 seconds, then he looked at me apologetically. "This past year, have you been doing okay?" "What's wrong?" "Afraid I'm doing too well, threatening you guys?" "Why would you think that?" He quickly explained, his eyes full of apology, about what happened back then. "I know I wronged you, but I was just so tired of those dead-end days. I really hope you can understand. I have a few resources now. If you want to change jobs, I can help you, at least you wouldn't have to work so hard. I was silent for a moment. Was he regretting it? He ran off with Sarah for money back then, and now that he realized Sarah was hard to please, he was thinking of me again. I straightened up and looked at the small mole on his nose. That mole made him look very handsome. I used to be crazy about it. Now, the more I looked at it, the more disgusting it seemed. No thanks. What good can come from a rotten person? Even if there was, I wouldn't be interested. He choked. He wanted to say more, but a car pulled up beside us. Sarah opened the car door, her face cold, calling him like a dog. "Mark, my feet are so sore. Come massage them for me." Mark hesitated for a moment, then hurried towards her. "Coming, babe." Sarah glanced at me. "What were you saying to her?" "Nothing, just warning her a bit, telling her to behave." "Really? I thought she was trying to get back together with you." "Speaking of which, I still remember her crying and begging you not to leave." TSK, no different from a dog. Mark stunned. "No way. Even if she wanted to, I wouldn't agree. She can't compare to a single strand of your hair." "That's more like it." Sarah looked smug. "Tell me, does she hate me to death right now? I'm on a top variety show, and her? She has nothing, can't even hold on to the man she loves." I couldn't hear what they were saying, I just focused on packing my things. Until someone honked at me. "Stella, let's go." I answered and got into the car with my equipment. Only when I got in did I realize Sam was also in this car, texting someone. Why was he in this car? My mind was a mess. I didn't dare ask, pretending I hadn't seen him, and quietly sat down in the back row. But then my phone suddenly rang. It was Sam's hit song, "The Sound of Falling Rain." "This rain ends here, emotions delayed, what you left behind, along, damp." Everyone in the car looked over. I fumbled to turn it off. But it was too late. Sam suddenly looked up, and our eyes met in the rearview mirror. "Sorry about that." I smiled awkwardly. I came across this song on the charts yesterday, thought it sounded good, so I made it my ringtone. He was silent for a moment. "But this is the version from this year's concert." "Yes, I forgot." This was the concert version. The audio quality was poor, even the ambient noise hadn't been removed. "Stella, have you been to my concert?" he asked me. Memories crashed over me like waves. But how could I admit it? This was my deepest, most hidden secret. Even though I had deliberately avoided all news about him for so many years. I still couldn't resist going to his 7th anniversary concert. In the last row, crying my eyes out for his success. "No," I said. "Maybe a fan uploaded it? I don't really know." "Is that so?" But he didn't look away. He just calmly observed me in the mirror. I didn't know what he was thinking. After a while. "Stella, aren't you hot?" "What?" "Wearing a mask all the time, aren't you hot?" he asked. His tone was casual, like normal concern. I wiped the sweat from my forehead. "Not hot. I have a cold, afraid of infecting everyone." "Is that so?" My phone was getting hot in my grip. WhatsApp notifications chimed one after another. He glanced at it, replied calmly, but couldn't control the trembling of his fingertips. I looked down and quickly changed my ringtone. After I was done, I glanced at the front row. Seeing him busy replying to messages, I secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Phew, almost didn't fool him. The car started moving. As it swayed, I had a very short dream. In the dream, I was back in the classroom, in the last row. The homeroom teacher had set up study groups, one-on-one support, making me, the second to last, help Sam, who was dead last. Back then, Sam was the school bully everyone avoided, always either sleeping or causing trouble. As the group leader, to push him to study, I tried everything, and he made me cry every day. A month later, the monthly exam results came out. He was second to last, I was last. I cried so hard that day. Sam was so annoyed with me that to get some peace, he took me skipping school to eat barbecue skewers off campus. Just eat up. You're already last, there's no room to go down. Me? I don't care. Studying or not, it's all the same. Anyway, my old man only cares about his illegitimate son. Alright, stop talking. What music academy? I stopped playing that stupid guitar a long time ago. Not listening, it's all nonsense. Stella. What does my studying have to do with you? I regret buying you these barbecue skewers, spit them out. Sam always asked me why I insisted on making him study hard. He would never know. Because a long time ago, I had seen a different side of him. Excellent grades, singing songs he wrote himself, full of spirit. I wanted that Sam to wake up. Too bad, too bad. 10 minutes later, the car stopped at our destination. I had slept the whole way, so I didn't know that Sam had been watching me the whole way. The live broadcast started again. Others gradually entered the school through the main gate. Only Sam. As a bad student, even entering the school gate required passing a challenge. Solve a riddle or do 50 push-ups, choose one. The live comments felt sorry for Sam. Choose the riddle. If he does push-ups, he'll use up too much energy and won't be able to play later. But riddles take a lot of time. Sam is strong, he should choose push-ups. The camera focused on Sam, this seemed to be a momentous decision. But Sam chose neither. He scanned the area and climbed the wall on the side of the school. Bad students, of course, use bad student methods. On camera, he sat on the wall, wild and unrestrained, just like before. In a flash, he looked at me, his eyes glinting. "Give me your hand," he said. As his videographer, I seemed to have no choice. The moment our hands clasped. "Stella, you remind me of someone." I looked up, confused. "What?" He looked at me, a gentle, old wind blowing through his eyes. "Nothing, I just feel like today might be very lucky." What was wrong with him? My body felt light. He had already pulled me up. The director team was baffled by him. After a long while, the non-player character playing the security guard finally chased after us. We jumped off the wall and hid in the water pump room, waiting in the cramped space for a long time. The non-player character wandered around for a long time before leaving. I let out a small sigh of relief. I turned my head and found Sam looking at me, as if pondering something. In the dim light, we were very close, almost able to hear each other's heartbeats. I swallowed. "Sam, what's wrong?" He smiled quietly, then reached out. And took down the hidden treasure stuck to the cabinet above my head. "Stella, I told you, today would be very lucky." The live comments went crazy at this point. "OMG, help, how can this be so flirtatious?" Dying laughing, Sam's first time on a variety show, he knows nothing, and he's interacting with the videographer. I'm kind of shipping them, is that wrong? I didn't know what was up with Sam. I could only explain it as him being weird. After the crisis was over, we left the water pump room and, by sheer coincidence, ran into Sarah at the intersection. She was originally going to the library. But after discovering that Sam's videographer was me, she changed her mind and decided to walk with Sam. In the school building hallway, she squeezed past me, intentionally or unintentionally blocking my shot. "Sam, actually, I'm still a fan of yours. I've listened to every one of your songs so many times." A complete lie. She doesn't even like music. I don't know what kind of fan she considers herself. Is that so? Yeah. You can cast me in your next music video. I can act and film. Did you know? I've also worked behind the scenes before. Sure, Sam smiled politely. If a suitable opportunity comes up, I'll definitely ask you. He walked to a classroom, paused for a moment, and pushed the door open. Sarah, however, didn't follow. While another videographer was filming an empty scene, she deliberately cornered me. Then she turned off her chest microphone, whispering, "I remember you're a Sam fan, right? You waited for days to snag tickets to his 7th anniversary concert." She smirked. "What now? I can casually chat with him whenever I want, but you can only watch from afar." So pathetic. "How about this, apologize to me, say you were wrong, and I'll put in a good word for you with him, get him to give you a concert ticket. How about that?" "Not interested." I calmly aimed the camera at her face. "If you love talking so much, talk to the camera." Her expression stiffened. She nonchalantly turned her microphone back on and smiled. "Are you even a professional videographer? You're following the wrong person, aren't you? I'm not Sam." After saying that, she jogged into the classroom. Sam was rummaging through suspicious corners, very focused. Sarah wandered around, then sat bored at a desk. "Hey, Sam, you look like a good student. You must have been a teacher's pet back in school, right?" "Wrong." Sam didn't look up. "I was a notoriously bad student, the kind even dogs wouldn't like. I only got a bit better later on." "Really?" She widened her eyes in surprise. "Then why did you change? Don't tell me it was because of that girl who supposedly had leukemia?" Sam's hands suddenly froze. No one expected Sarah to ask that so suddenly. Sam had always been very secretive about this rumor. The audacity of this question was like a direct attack. Sarah herself froze for a second, realizing what a stupid question she'd asked, and quickly covered her mouth. "I'm sorry." Everyone gasped and looked at Sam. But he was silent for a moment, his eyes flickered, and he replied, "Yes." As if to confirm what he just said, he straightened up, looked at the camera, and said slowly, "Without her, I might have continued down a destructive path and become a loser. So, I'm very grateful to her." The live comments instantly exploded. "OMG, Sam. It's actually true. Poor Sam. He worked hard to become better for the person he liked, but that person can never see it. I'm bawling. He's been donating money to leukemia patients all these years, all for her. He must feel so guilty for not being able to save her back then. I can't take it." In that second, the live broadcast's popularity soared to an unprecedented high. I was surprised for a long time, my heart twitching slightly. It really was for that girl. He finally became the person I hoped he would be, but sadly, it had nothing to do with me. Memories uncontrollably flooded my mind. It was like I was back in that dim classroom again. "Sam, it's my birthday today, you know." His tone was casual. "Your birthday? Why didn't you say so earlier?" "Well then, I wish you to be forever 18. I'll get you a gift tomorrow. I don't want anything else. I want you to start studying hard from today onwards, okay?" "Just that?" "Just that." 18-year-old Sam looked at me for a long time, then nodded. "Okay." I can't describe how happy I was at that moment. But when we were supposed to study together, he showed up at the pool hall, his workbook torn to shreds. I cried and begged him, "Sam, stop fighting. Finish your homework first, then fight, okay?" He was just annoyed. He said, "Who do you think you are?" Yeah, who did I think I was? What was I? Sunlight flickered a few times. Sam looked down and opened his phone's lock screen. But she's gone now. If I'd known, I wouldn't have wished her to be forever 18. I looked up, a vein throbbing at my temple. What did he say? The producer's voice came through my earpiece. Get a shot of that, what are you waiting for? I snapped back to reality, quickly zoomed in, and scanned his phone screen. But the moment I saw the photo clearly, I froze. Sam looked at me intently, his eyes moist. Stella, I heard you also studied here. Have you ever seen her? The air was dead silent. Sarah curiously leaned over to look at the photo. Huh. You used to have a mole on your nose? When did you get it removed? This girl's face is so blurry, I can't see it clearly. But if you look closely, she kind of looks like. As she looked, her pupils suddenly dilated, as if she'd seen a ghost in broad daylight. When I was leaving in a cab, a production assistant greeted me. Stella, you're leaving already? Yeah. So weird, how did your camera suddenly break? Luckily, Sam's original videographer came back, otherwise, tonight would have been a huge disaster. He sighed a couple of times and pushed his equipment away. I was silent for a moment, then looked at a nearby screen. The live broadcast was ending. But the comments were still discussing that photo. Even though it's blurry, you can still tell she's average looking. I thought she'd be a great beauty. So disappointed. How is this worth Sam pining over for so many years? It's only because she died young that Sam keeps thinking about her. If she were still alive, Sam would have probably forgotten her long ago. To say something politically incorrect, it's a good thing she died. Otherwise, the Sam's fans wouldn't accept a sister-in-law like that. Sam deserves better. No, wait, nobody is good enough for Sam. These words were like sharp thorns, nailing me to a cross. My ride share arrived, and I walked numbly to the roadside. Behind me, applause erupted from the gymnasium, signaling the end. Sam ran out, grabbing one staff member after another, anxiously searching for someone. The wind made my eyes sting a little. I turned back, got in the car, and left. A call came through. It was Mark. His voice trembled as he questioned me. Stella, is the girl in that photo you? No wonder he was angry. The picture of me was blurry, but Sam was very clear, so clear you could see the small mole on his nose. You actually dated him? No wonder you always said my mole was cute. Was it because it looked like his? What the hell did you take me for? A replacement? Stella, I genuinely liked you. This whole past year I've felt guilty towards you, even thought about making it up to you, and it turns out you were playing me all along. How could you do this to me? I had no intention of listening to him vent. I hung up and blocked him. Just then, a WhatsApp message popped up. Stella, where did you go? Sam is looking for you everywhere. What should I do? Clutching my phone, I calmly gave her a number. Please give this to him, thanks. It was my burner phone number. But he would never be able to get through. After sending the message, I quietly looked out the window, my memory drifting back to my birthday. The pool hall. After Sam kicked me out, I walked away dejectedly and fainted at the school gate. It was just low blood sugar. But Mom was furious, thinking Grandma hadn't taken good care of me. She asked me if I wanted to go with her, to study down south. Lying in bed, I thought of Sam, of those hurtful words. Eventually, I nodded and left quietly. I decided to disappear from Sam's life forever. Just like right now. Actually, what those comments said was right. There was nothing about me worth Sam's affection. If he hadn't thought I was dead, he wouldn't even remember me. The reason he couldn't forget was just that he had unconsciously romanticized the memories. To say he liked me was more about guilt. So, it's better not to meet. In a few days, he'll forget about me. With that thought, I took a few sick days, slept well for a few days, and went to visit Grandma. She had always been resentful because I left with Mom and even changed the name she gave me. When others asked about me, she would viciously tell them I was dead. I used to really dislike her, but now that she's old, she seems quite pitiful. Grandma, after I transferred schools, did anyone ever look for me? She didn't speak, just stared blankly at the TV. I figured I wouldn't get anything out of her. My phone pushed a trending news notification. I heard it but ignored it. Just some junk news. It wasn't until nightfall, when I got home and opened my phone, that I saw those 3 words. Sam missing. My heart trembled. I clicked on the web page, my back growing colder and colder. Sam had vanished from the internet. Scheduled performances, booked shoots, a fan meet and greet he'd been preparing for 6 months, he missed them all. No one could contact him, not even his manager. An extremely bad feeling washed over me. I hurriedly called my colleague at the TV station. "It's true," my colleague said. "This has never happened before. The whole industry is in chaos right now. Everyone suspects he might have been harmed. How could that be?" I sat there stunned for 2 seconds, then suddenly remembered the burner phone number. I frantically rummaged through my drawer for the burner phone. Panicked, I pressed the power button several times before it turned on. The screen unlocked. I finally saw countless missed calls from the same number. And a flood of text messages. "Stella, sorry to bother you, but could you please answer the phone? Please, this is really important to me. Stella, I know this is bold, and it's okay if you don't want to see me, but please turn on your phone, just let me know you're safe, okay? Stella, I know it's you. Please answer the phone, okay? I'm sorry, Stella. I was too forward tonight. I shouldn't have tested you like that, but please believe me, I didn't mean any disrespect. I just miss you too much, really. Please turn on your phone, okay? Stella, please. You said you wanted to see me get into music school, I did it. You said you wanted to see me become a big star, I did it. But why don't you want me anymore? Stella. 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 The messages continued until 3 days ago, and then there were no more. I didn't know it would be like this, really. I thought he would understand what I meant and then back off. I didn't know he would be so persistent. The night wind messed up my hair. I trembled and tentatively dialed the number. The phone rang 12 times. Before it automatically disconnected, it connected. But it wasn't Sam's voice. Stella? Yes. It's me. There was a second of silence on the other end, then a cold tone. He's at Bright Mountain Hospital. Come over. It was a private hospital far from the city center. The person who came to pick me up was our former high school classmate, Alex. He stood at the entrance, sneering as he told me Sam had fallen down the stairs 3 days ago and hadn't regained consciousness yet. Stella, you're actually still alive. I'm telling you, if you're going to play dead, do it for a lifetime. Don't show up again, okay? Do you enjoy playing him like this? I'm sorry, I didn't do it on purpose. Any explanation seemed too weak. I looked guiltily at Sam in the hospital bed. Is he okay? What do you think? I'm sorry. Enough. Do you know he suffers from severe bipolar disorder? If you keep torturing him like this, he'll die. I looked up, stunned. What? Alex gritted his teeth. Back then, because of a fight, his dad locked him up for a month. When he came back to school, everyone said you were dead. He didn't believe it and ran to your house to confirm. After he came back, he stopped talking to anyone, just studied like crazy. Do you know why? It was all because of you. His illness started back then, and it's still not cured. Do you know why he got into a fight that day? I'll tell you, it was because those punks at the pool hall were checking you out, and Sam couldn't stand it. Stella, if you have any conscience at all, you shouldn't treat him like this. Alex's words hit me like one heavy blow after another. I was numb for a long time. In a daze, I remembered his nervous eyes that day. Don't you understand English? Get out of here now. This isn't a place for you, I told you to get out. Back then, I just assumed he hated me. I completely failed to notice his trembling hands because he was afraid I'd get hurt. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. I covered my face, tears streaming down. I sat by his bedside all night. Only then did I finally learn what he had been through all these years. Every song, every bottle of medicine he took, was a hidden pain he couldn't voice. I held his hand, my voice very, very soft. Sam, I'm sorry. I'll never leave again. Please wake up soon, I beg you. As dawn broke, Alex woke me with a start. Something's happened. He was scrolling through the news, his expression tense. I quickly opened my phone and found that the trending topics had exploded. Sam scripted. Someone had enhanced the photo from the show, claiming that Sam's unforgettable first love was actually Stella, a camerawoman at Starfire TV. She never had leukemia, and Sam had been building a fake persona and generating hype since his debut. They had recently gotten back together, so Sam orchestrated all of this to make his girlfriend famous. Everything on the live show that day was scripted, every word, every sensational moment, was planned in advance. An insider revealed that this Stella has terrible character. She was once good friends with Miss Sarah, promised to help her find a job, but after taking benefits, she assigned her to the dirtiest, most tiring department. Now that Sarah is famous, she conspired with other cameramen at the TV station to take unflattering photos of Sarah. Utterly selfish and hypocritical, the comments section said. Sam's reputation was on the verge of collapse. I knew something was off between Sam and that videographer. I could tell it was scripted a long time ago. Oh my God. I actually cried real tears over this. Aren't they just playing us for fools? Is Sam cursed or something? Why would he do something so trashy for that woman? If you can't write songs anymore, just retire. All this hyping has ruined all goodwill. I stared at the screen, my fingers trembling uncontrollably. Alex was frantic. Sam has never made any enemies. Who on earth would want to sabotage him like this? I know. Alex looked at me in surprise. You know? I said nothing, silently dialing Sarah's number. After about 10 seconds, she answered leisurely. I knew you'd come asking me. Yes, it was me. So what? Stella, were you feeling pretty smug that night, thinking you'd beaten me again? Let me tell you, you celebrated too soon. It's not over between us. This time, Sam can go down with you. It really was her. I wanted to say something, but felt powerless. I never thought things between us needed to reach this point. To the extent that her hatred extended to him. Sarah, what exactly do you want? Silence on the other end for a few seconds. I want you dead. The call disconnected. Only a long silence remained in the receiver. Daybreak. A ray of sunlight peeked through the blinds, landing near Sam's hand. His index finger twitched almost imperceptibly. I looked down at his face, feeling surprisingly calm. Alex, take good care of him. Alex looked at me, bewildered. Where are you going? This started because of me, so let me be the one to solve it. No matter what, I won't let Sam get dragged into this. I took a deep breath and stood up to leave. But my fingers were suddenly gripped tightly. In the dead silence, Sam, who had been unconscious for days, slowly opened his eyes. Stella, are you going to leave me again? By the time we reached the Starfire TV headquarters, it was already 10 in the morning. The entrance was swarming with reporters, all demanding an explanation. Until someone with sharp eyes spotted us. They're here. All the cameras and microphones surged forward. The reporters' questions came one wave after another. I wasn't used to facing cameras. Looking at those reporters, my body trembled slightly. Sam gently squeezed my hand to reassure me. His physical condition was very poor. He could only wait for them to quiet down a bit before speaking. I had a bit of a situation these past 2 days and missed some important events. For that, I am very sorry. But that wasn't what the reporters were focused on. Sam. Is Stella really your first love? Have you been using her to build your image all this time? Yeah. Did you guys get back together a long time ago? Was the live broadcast that day scripted? Were you two in cahoots? They shouted, nearly drowning him out. Sam could only wait, wait for a quiet moment, to explain everything to them, bit by bit. Miss Stella and I are indeed old classmates, but we were never together. Before this live broadcast, we hadn't seen each other for 10 years. The rumors online about us getting back together are false, and the scripted show theory is even more absurd. During the live broadcast, it was my own impromptu decision to show the photo. Stella knew nothing about it. How can you prove it? Exactly. How can you prove it? Right, without evidence, they wouldn't believe him based on his word alone. Sam was quiet for a moment, then took out his phone. This is my phone. There's no password, you can look at whatever you want. If you're worried I deleted anything, you can do data recovery. It contained all his chat logs from the past 3 years, all the photos he'd taken, all his browse history. They could check anything. Including his cloud drive, his bank balance, his medical records. He laid bare all his privacy, standing naked for judgment, to prove my innocence. I stopped him in surprise. No. We agreed to face this together, how could he bear it all alone? But he just smiled. It's okay, Stella. Let me protect you this once. I paused. Suddenly, I understood him. The reason he had blamed himself and regretted countless times over the years, developing a mental illness, was because he couldn't protect me back then. The phone was still handed over. The reporters fell silent. No one could go to such lengths. They passed the phone around, speechless. But, how do you explain Stella backstabbing Miss Sarah? Someone suddenly asked. The microphone was thrust very close, like a gun to my forehead. My face turned pale. How could I explain subjective accusations with no evidence? This matter. A woman's voice suddenly came from behind. I can explain this matter. It was the deputy director of Starfire TV. She glanced at me and said coolly, Sarah did indeed ask Stella to help her find a job, but I must clarify that the benefits Stella supposedly took, which are rumored online, were actually just 2 cases of milk. Stella was too embarrassed to mention it to me and paid for red wine out of her own pocket instead. Also, Starfire TV has very strict hiring standards. At the time, Sarah did not meet the requirements. It was Stella who repeatedly pleaded for her, asking me to give Sarah a chance. Only on the condition that Stella would not leave Starfire TV for 5 years did I reluctantly agree to let Sarah join. But after Sarah joined, I discovered her professional skills were severely lacking, and I had to make her start from the very basics. In other words, it wasn't that I deliberately made her do menial tasks, but rather, that's all she was qualified for. As for Ms. Sarah's rise to fame, it was truly unexpected. At the time, she should have been backstage preparing costumes for the artists. How she suddenly burst onto the studio set, I really don't know. The deputy director's words not only cleared up the rumors but also nailed Sarah for deliberately walking into the shot to gain attention. She had always been businesslike and profit-oriented. I never expected her to speak up for me. I was stunned for a long time before softly saying, "Thank you." This farce finally subsided for the time being. Sam's reputation gradually improved, and his fans also stopped cyberbullying me. Sarah's reputation, however, collapsed. After all, nobody respects a venomous snake you can't warm up to. So she was the backstabber all along. Damn, she's too good at twisting the truth. Is she mentally ill? Why would she falsely accuse someone like that? So malicious. She's always been like that. My friend was her classmate. Apparently, Stella was really good to her in college, took special care of her because she was introverted, often brought her hometown specialties, and included her in various competitions so she could share the awards. But she often badmouthed Stella behind her back, saying Stella looked down on her and was being fake nice. Truly an ungrateful wolf. A few days later, Sarah called me. "Stella, please, I was wrong. Help me one more time. As long as you clarify things, I won't get fired. I worked so hard to get here, I really don't want to go back to being poor." I listened quietly until she finished, then blocked her. People have to pay for their mistakes, right? Not long after, Sarah was in a dangerous driving incident, crashed into a guardrail, and was left paralyzed from the waist down. At that time, I was in Tibet filming a documentary. Sam was with me too, working as my little assistant. He's in a semi-retired state now, keeping me company while getting close to nature and looking for inspiration. His illness is much better. He can control his emotions without medication. On the plateau, I was focused on filming a herd of blue sheep. When I turned around, I found him staring at me intently, his eyes moist. "What did you just say?" "Nothing. I love you." He suddenly covered my mouth. Only the wind knew what he had just said. Epilogue. The moment Sam shook hands with Stella, he thought of someone. That person, like her, had long, slender fingers, yet full of strength, leaving a deep impression in his memory. He looked up at Stella. Even though she wore a mask, the more he looked, the more familiar she seemed. But how could it be? That person had been dead for many years. He was unsettled. During filming, he couldn't help but keep looking at her. He had never felt like this before. During a break, he couldn't resist texting a friend. "I think I saw Stella." Silence on the other end for a bit. "No way, man, are you crazy missing her that much? Stella's been gone for how many years?" He explained, "Not crazy. There's a camera operator on the crew, looks a lot like her, even has the same last name, Xia, and her voice sounds similar too. There are lots of people in the world who look alike." His friend repeatedly dismissed his idea. But he still felt this time was different. He couldn't explain it, but he just had this feeling. On the way to Northwood High, he inexplicably got into the production crew's car. "By the way, my videographer, is her real name Stella?" He brought it up casually. The person next to him was baffled. "Yeah, I think so. That's what it says on her ID." "Oh. Do you have a photo of her?" "No, she's here filling in for someone. We don't know her that well." He was a little disappointed. But soon, the staff member added, "But I heard she also used to go to Northwood High. Maybe you've met before." Another similarity. His heart pounded like a drum. He texted his friend, "I think Stella might still be alive." His friend replied quickly, "But didn't you go to her house to check? Didn't her grandma tell you herself that she died?" Yes, he had personally gone to Stella's house to verify. Her grandmother had looked very impatient. "She's dead." "Where is she buried?" "Buried in the mountains, go look for her yourself." Thinking back now, it all seemed very strange. Soon, Stella got into the car. She didn't greet him, moving quietly, as if afraid he would notice her. He was a little disappointed. But then, her phone rang. It was his song, the live version. He looked at her in the rearview mirror, surprised. Stella hurriedly explained that she found it on the charts and set it as her ringtone because it sounded good. But that audio was the live version from this year's concert. The quality was rough, clearly recorded on a phone. She had clearly been to his concert, she was clearly paying attention to him. Why lie? Why not admit it? What was she hiding? He looked at her, his doubts growing stronger. Actually, it was all very simple. If she just took off her mask, everything would be clear. So he asked her, "Aren't you hot?" Of course, it was hot, she was already sweating profusely. But she stubbornly made excuses, unwilling to take off her mask. But, the more she did this, didn't it just prove she had something to hide? A WhatsApp notification sounded. He looked down and saw a message from his friend. "I just asked some old classmates about Stella's death. It's actually not very certain. It's just that she fainted and was taken to the hospital, and never came back, so everyone said she died. As for leukemia, that's what the classmates who took her to the hospital said. I can't contact those people now, so I can't verify it." Sam stared at the screen, stunned. So, there was no direct evidence that Stella was dead, right? He glanced back. She was secretly changing her ringtone. If before it was suspicion, now it was almost a certainty. He looked down, opened the input box, his fingertips trembling as he replied, "Thanks." When he looked up at the rearview mirror again, Stella had fallen asleep. He silently changed his phone's lock screen to their photo together. Won't admit it? He'd find a way. A long time later. Tibet. Stella was filming a group of blue sheep. The wind was very strong that day. She was so engrossed in filming that she didn't hear what Sam said. "You look beautiful when you're grown up." He once thought he would never see her grown-up face. "What did you just say?" Stella asked. "Nothing." "I love you," he said.